I got rich by using these 9 simple habits. And no, it wasn't a lottery ticket or a long lost rich uncle. I used to be just like you. I used to have this pit in my stomach every single time I thought about money. You know the feeling. I'd log into my bank account, do the painful mental math, and realize I was just skating by, paycheck to paycheck. I'd watch the news and hear about the job market, terrified I was going to lose my job because I didn't have a backup plan. But then something clicked. I discovered that getting rich isn't about how much money you make. It's about the habits you build around the money you have. I stumbled upon these 9 simple, almost invisible habits that completely changed my financial world. And today, I'm going to share every single one and break it down step by step so you can do it too. So, if you're ready to rewrite your own money story, stick around and hit that subscribe button because this is the stuff we all wish we had learned in school. Okay, so the first habit, and honestly, the one that makes all the other ones possible, is to pay yourself first. Now, I know exactly what you're thinking because I thought it too. Pay myself first. I've got bills breathing down my neck. It feels completely backward, right? For years, my money routine was the same. The paycheck hits my account, and I'd immediately start paying everyone else: the landlord, the credit card company, the car loan, the utilities. And then came the groceries, gas, subscriptions. And at the end of the month, I'd peek at whatever was left, if anything, and tell myself I'd save that. And trust me, it never, ever worked. The game changed when I flipped the script. Paying yourself first means the very moment you get paid, before you pay a single bill, you move a set amount of money to savings and investments. This isn't a friendly suggestion, it is a hard and fast rule. When I first started, it was just $50 a paycheck. It felt tiny, almost pointless, but the mental shift was huge. For the first time ever, I was putting my future first. I was building a wall between me and financial panic. Okay, so habit number 2. Let's be real, the word budget makes most people want to run for the hills. It sounds like spreadsheets, sad desk lunches, and saying no to anything fun. And for the longest time, I failed at budgeting because I was doing it all wrong. I'd create these super strict, miserable plans where I try to cut out every single thing that I actually enjoyed. I'd last maybe a week before I'd crack, overspend on pure frustration, and then feel guilty, which of course led to more what the heck spending. It was a vicious cycle. The breakthrough came when I stopped calling it a budget and started calling it a spending plan. It's about telling your money where you want it to go so you can spend on the things you love without a drop of guilt. The plan is your key to living below your means, which is the absolute cornerstone for building wealth. My roadmap was the 50-30-20 rule, which I tweaked for my own life. So 50% of my take home pay went to my needs, so rent, utilities, transportation, and groceries. 20% went straight to my financial goals. That's the pay yourself first money, so savings and investments. And then the other 30%, that was my wants fund. That was for dinners out, Netflix, new sneakers, weekend trips. Knowing I had that 30% to spend on fun stuff, guilt free, was liberation. It wasn't about giving up lattes, it was about making sure my lattes were happily living in my plan. Okay, so a spending plan is a great first step, but it's completely useless without the second part: actually tracking your spending. This was the habit that was a real slap in the face. I thought I knew where my money was going. I was wrong, like horrifyingly wrong. The first time I actually tracked every single dollar for a month, I was shocked. Those little, seemingly harmless purchases, the daily coffee, the afternoon snack from the vending machine, the it's only $10 impulse buys from Amazon, they were adding hundreds of dollars to my monthly bill. It was death by 1,000 tiny little swipes. When you record every purchase, you expose the patterns, the waste, which lets you redirect that cash towards your actual goals. You can use an app, a spreadsheet, or a dusty old notebook. The tool doesn't really matter. Consistency is what counts. You don't have to do this forever, but until you get a more mindful spending habit and letting go of those impulse purchases. Okay, so habit number 4. We are wired for the path of least resistance. It's just human nature. And when it comes to money, willpower is a battery that runs out. If you have to remember to manually transfer money to savings every single month, there will be months where you just forget. Or you get busy, or a shiny new thing comes along and you tell yourself, I'll do it next month. This is exactly why automation is your secret weapon for building wealth. Automating your finances takes you and your flaky willpower out of the equation. It's the closest you'll get to a set it and forget it strategy for getting rich. So here is my own personal setup. First, automatic transfer from my checking into a high yield savings account the day after payday. That's my emergency fund handled. Next, automatic contributions from my paycheck straight into my retirement accounts like 401k and Roth IRA. That money is invested and working for me before I can even dream of spending it. And with modern financial tools, this is easier than ever. Robo advisors powered by smart tech are exploding in popularity, and they can automate the entire investing process for you, taking the guesswork out of it. It's like having a little wealth building robot who works for you 24/7 and never calls in sick. Okay, so habit number 5. Have you ever gotten a raise and think, yes, I'm finally going to get ahead, only to find yourself just as broke as you were a few months later? That, my friend, is lifestyle creep, and it is the silent killer of wealth. It's the most natural tendency to spend more as you make more. The bigger the paycheck comes in, suddenly things that were luxuries start feeling like necessities. A nicer car, a bigger apartment, more takeout. These little upgrades quietly eat up your new income, leaving you no wealthier than you were before. This was my biggest trap for years. I'd get a promotion, and my first thought wasn't, awesome, I can invest more. It was, awesome, I can finally get a nicer car. But that car came with a higher payment, higher insurance, and more expensive repairs. My raise was gone before it even had a chance. A 2024 report found that a third of people making over $200,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. And this is a huge reason why. A high salary means nothing if your lifestyle inflates along with it. The habit that broke this cycle was a little mind trick. Every time I got a raise, I pretended it didn't happen, at least for a few months. Instead of finding ways to spend it, I'd immediately increase my automated investments. I committed to sending at least half of any new income straight to my future self. The other half could go towards a more modest lifestyle upgrade, but only after my investments were taken care of. This is how you go from earning more to actually becoming wealthier. There is a difference between the two. Okay, we're halfway through, and if this is starting to make any sense, I want to help you get started. So, one of the best first steps to creating that spending plan we talked about. To make it super simple, I've created a free downloadable money guide. It's the exact steps I used to get my own money in order. It's easy to use and will help you nail habits 2 and 3 right away. The link is in my stand store in the description, so go ahead and grab it. It's my gift to you for investing your time in your future. Habit number 6. Saving money just to save money is boring. It feels like punishment with no reward, and it's almost impossible to stick with. For a long time, I was just saving a vague rainy day fund, which wasn't very motivating. My habits didn't truly lock in until I started setting goals that were specific, clear, and that I could actually feel. Having a powerful why is what keeps you going when the journey gets long. So instead of, I want to save more, my goals turned into, I'm going to build a $10,000 emergency fund in 18 months so I never have to feel the stomach drop panic from an unexpected bill again. Or I will save $25,000 for a down payment in the next 5 years so I can finally have a place of my own. Or I'm going to have $1 million in my retirement account by age 60 so that I can travel the world. See the difference? They're specific, they're measurable, and they're tied to an emotion: security, pride, freedom. These goals become the ultimate filter for your decisions. Okay, habit number 7. Your mindset around money changes everything. For years, I saw money as a trophy: a nice car, designer clothes, a fancy watch. These things were status symbols to prove to the world that I was doing okay. The problem with treating money like a trophy is that your first instinct is to show it off. And showing it off means spending it. That mindset keeps you on the hamster wheel of keeping up with the Joneses. The truly wealthy, especially the quiet millionaires next door, see it very differently. They view money not as a trophy to be polished, but as a tool to be used. It's a tool for building a life of freedom, a tool for buying back your time, and a tool for taking care of your family. So, what did my money allow me to do? I was able to quit my job, focus on my passion project, which is teaching others how to get ahead financially, like I did. And I'm able to be home with my kids. I'm with them every school pickup, every dinner, every sick day. No taking emails or rearranging meetings. All right, so they say Albert Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, saying, "He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it." And this is the magic behind every great fortune. And to tap into it, you have to adopt the habit of long term thinking. Wealth isn't built overnight, it's built over decades of patient, consistent, and frankly, kind of boring investing. Compound interest is just your money making more money. That's it. It's a snowball effect. At first, the growth is so small you can barely see it. Your investment earns a little bit, and then the next year you earn a return on the original amount plus that little bit. But over 20, 30, or even 40 years, that tiny snowball grows into an unstoppable avalanche of wealth. These two magic ingredients are consistency and time. Forget about trying to time the market. That's a fool's game. Time in the market is what builds fortunes. My own aha moment came when I messed around with a compound interest calculator online. I plugged in my small monthly investments and cranked the timeline forward to 30 years. The final number that popped up on my screen absolutely floored me. It made me realize that my small, consistent efforts today were planting a giant financial tree for my future self. Okay, last but not least, the final habit, the one that ties it all together and puts your wealth building on overdrive. It is creating multiple streams of income. For most of my life, I had one income source, my 9 to 5 job. That's what most of us do, but it's also incredibly fragile. Building multiple income streams gives you a powerful safety net and seriously speeds up your journey to wealth. This doesn't mean you need to invent the next Facebook. It can start small. It could be freelancing with a skill you already use at your day job. It could be starting a small Etsy shop for a hobby that you love, investing in dividend paying stocks, or creating a simple digital guide. For me, it was investing in dividend stocks that gave me true passive income. At first, it only brought in a few hundred extra bucks a month, but I funneled that 100% of that extra cash directly into buying more investments. That side income was like pouring gasoline on my wealth building fire. Diversifying your income protects you from risk, but it also opens up your world. It gives you flexibility, freedom, and the confidence to know that you are not dependent on any single person or company for your survival. The goal is to eventually have your income so diversified that losing any one stream would be a bummer, not a catastrophe. So, there they are, the 9 habits that completely rewired my financial life. I went from someone who was constantly anxious about money to someone who feels calm, confident, and in charge of my own future. And it wasn't a huge salary that got me here. It was adopting these small, consistent habits day after day. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, give the video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments which habit you're going to tackle first. Give me a like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell for more videos on how to build a richer life. I'll see you in the next one.